It's a town once famous for shipbuilding, but Sunderland's River Wear is quiet these days. Most industry has long gone, although not all. The Nissan factory makes 1/3 of all the cars produced in Britain. It's a success story that started in the 1980s, celebrated in the local museum. But most of the cars made in Sunderland are exported to Europe. And yet this town voted overwhelmingly to leave the EU. 7 weeks later, the people of Sunderland stand by their decision. Richard, who runs a hardware shop, believes those who predicted economic disaster after a Brexit vote have been proved wrong.
We kept getting all this information where people were saying, oh, well, this will happen to you, that will happen to you. Nissan will pull out and all the rest of it, and we just didn't believe it, and we still don't believe it.
We buy more from them.
And Brian, from the pet shop, who also voted leave, has no regrets.
No, it's definitely the best thing for England. We're big enough to go it alone.
We don't yet know whether the people of Sunderland, by voting leave, have created the conditions for this town and for this country to enjoy a better future, or whether they've committed a serious mistake that will hurt British society and the British economy. But we do know that Britain now has a new Prime Minister who is apparently committed to carrying out their instructions of taking Britain out of the European Union.
We also wish, obviously,
Theresa May's ministers know that difficult negotiations lie ahead as they try to define Brexit. Some want Britain to keep as much access to the single market as possible, others more concerned with controlling immigration from Europe. An MP from the governing Conservative Party and supporter of Brexit says this is not about Britain turning its back on the world.
We can now trade more freely with the wider world. We can take our mindset out of the little box of the European Union. And I think Britain has always been a very outward-looking global trading nation, but also have historical diplomatic links right across the globe.
What we want? What we want? Now!
But almost half of those who voted in June wanted Britain to stay in the EU. Some are still marching, still protesting. Not many believe a second referendum is likely, but they want Britain to keep close ties with Europe, and they say the politicians who promised Brexit would bring such benefits must be held to account. Barnaby, Phillips, Al Jazeera, London.